Good morning. It's good to see everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Today, I want to talk to you about reading instruction. There are many aspects of reading instruction, such as phonemic awareness, decoding, vocabulary, comprehension. But what I want to discuss today is one aspect in particular, and that is fluency. Many teachers think that fluency is just reading quickly, and while it's important to read at an appropriate rate, fluency is much more than just speed. So I want to talk about what reading fluency is, why it's important, and ways in which you can help improve the fluency in your students. So the first thing I want to do is to define fluency, and I have a very short video clip that I want to show you. It's an interview between Deborah Norville and a character from a PBS TV series called Between the Lions.
Hi, I'm Deborah Norville. Today I'm interviewing a well-known reading expert and librarian. Here for the PBS Kids show Between the Lines is Thea Long.
So Leo defined fluency beautifully, almost so that I don't have to say too much about it. But no, he did a great job of defining what fluency is. So let's talk about a fluent reader. A fluent reader reads accurately, so they read their words accurately. They're able to decode quickly. They read with an appropriate speed, not too fast, not too slow. And they also read with prosody or expression. And prosody it's expressive reading, but it also has to do with attending to punctuation. A fluent reader understands what different punctuation marks mean. They understand the difference, but when there's a period, you need to pause. When there's an exclamation point, they know they need to read with expression. Also, if there's dialogue and it says, there's a cat, Sophie yelled, then when they see the word yelled, they know that they need to say those words just a little bit louder. So a fluent reader is proficient in all of these things. So let me show you what a non-fluent reader sounds like. I'm going to show you a short clip, and this is actually an adult pretending to be a child reading non-fluently. So it's kind of long, so I'm going to kind of cue it up a little bit and let you just listen to about the last 30 seconds or so. Okay, so what did you notice about how that student read? You're probably thinking it was choppy, the reading was halting. She was reading word by word, very slow, very laborious, and it's pretty hard to listen to a child read like that for a long period of time. All of these are characteristics of a non-fluent reader. And a lot of times, a student that is reading like this, they are spending so much energy just trying to attend to every single word that they really don't understand what they're reading. So let me show you what a fluent reader sounds like. These are several first grade students, and they all read a little differently, but they are reading fluently. So, did you see the difference? Um, each child read differently, but they were all reading at an appropriate speed. They were all using good phrasing, so you didn't hear that reading word for word. They were grouping together groups of words, phrasing appropriately, and there was a little bit of expression. Expressive reading takes time. If a first grader isn't reading super expressively, that is totally understandable. It'll get better. But these kids, their voices were kind of going up and down a little bit. So that is what a fluent reader sounds like. So let's talk about why fluency is important and where fluency kind of fits into all this. So you can think of fluency as a bridge. And on one side of the bridge, you have word recognition, and on the other side of the bridge, you have comprehension. And in the middle is fluency. So a child starts to decode, then all of a sudden they become fluent with automatic word recognition and prosody, and then at the very end, the other side of the bridge is comprehension. If there is a lapse in fluency, then there is a break in comprehension. So as fluency gets better, comprehension gets better as well. So and I think I've already mentioned this before, but kids that are spending so much time on the word recognition side, they're spending so much mental energy just trying to sound out the words and decode that the fluency decreases. Fluency is students aren't reading as fluently, and so comprehension tends to go down. And that's what I've noticed with my own students. My students that read very, very slowly and word by word like that generally will have comprehension problems. At the end of the passage or the story, they're not able to retell, and they're not able to answer any type of comprehension questions. So let's talk about the problem. So if fluency is so important, what is the problem? Many times fluency is not taught in teacher education programs, or it's only given just a small amount of attention. So teachers that are coming out of teacher education programs may not be familiar with what fluency is, or they may not know best how to teach it. Many times, fluency is covered in the classroom by the use of time trials, treating fluency only as a speed reading activity in which the goal is just to read faster and faster without really paying attention to our children really understanding what they're reading. And also, some teachers believe that fluency can be covered during silent reading. And while that is true to some extent, there is very strong evidence, both academic evidence as well as classroom-based evidence, that oral reading and repeated oral readings help to improve fluency. and in turn help to improve comprehension as well, and also to help improve overall reading achievement. So what I want to do is I want to discuss several activities that you can use in the classroom to help improve the fluency in your kids. These activities are engaging, and most kids really find them a lot of fun, and they don't take a lot of time. And also what I've found is they fit in very nicely with the new ELA TEKS. These activities that I'm going to go over involve components of 4 of the 7 strands in the TEKS in grades 1 through 8. So if you're interested in any information in exactly which TEKS that they cover, you're certainly more than welcome to email me. I'll give that at the end of the presentation. You can email me more and I can give you some more information about that. So these are strategies to improve fluency. All of these strategies involve reading orally, and they all involve doing repeated oral readings. So the first activity I want to talk about is Reader's Theater. And if you're not familiar with Reader's Theater, it is a simple dramatic performance. It involves no costumes, no sets, and no props. You can have a prop or two, but you don't necessarily have to. Students work in groups, and they read a script out loud. And this is the thing, they're reading the script. They are not memorizing the lines. So the group of students, they'll read the script several times, and then they'll actually perform it in front of a group. And while they're doing this, they're using all the components of good fluency. They're using automatic word recognition. They need to read at an appropriate rate, and they definitely are using expressive reading. So I have a short video clip showing Reader's Theater in action. So this is a group of boys that are reading from a script, and they are in front of their classroom, just to give you an idea of what this looks like. So that was really cute. And you'll notice that some of the kids were using a few gestures. So that's Reader's Theater. There are a lot of Reader's Theater scripts out there. You can Google it. I'll give you some websites as well. You can create your own scripts. If you have a particular subject that you're studying, maybe something in history, you can write your own scripts. It doesn't have to be long. It just needs to be, fun and engaging and informative. And like I said, there's a lot out there. So the next activity I want to talk about involves the use of iPads. So what students do is they'll read a passage and they'll film themselves while reading this passage, and then they'll watch themselves. And kids are really interesting. When you film them, they're like, wait a minute, what? That's what I sound like? When you tell a student you're reading like a robot, they don't believe it. And when you videotape them or audio tape them and let them listen to that, most of the time they're very surprised. So this is a great activity for kids to work on fluency. And what they do, again, they videotape themselves, and then they watch themselves and they go, hey, I can do better. I can improve on that. And then they'll videotape themselves again and again, always trying to get better and better. And what they'll notice is that every time that they read, their reading will become smoother, more and more smooth. And also, it'll get a little bit faster too, and the phrasing will be better. And the great thing about this is they can actually see or hear themselves. The next activity is singing while reading. There's several different ways you can do this. You provide the lyrics of the songs to the kids, and you can see that the kids are pointing to the lyrics. You can have the music in the background, and the singer is singing, and have the kids sing with them or read with them. Or you can have no music at all and just let the kids just say the words. But it's an engaging activity, and most kids really find this fun. And this is something that doesn't take a lot of time at all. And again, if there's a particular subject that you're studying, you can find some songs appropriate for that. If there's a certain holiday you're celebrating, you can find songs that fit in with that as well. And the last activity I want to talk about is poetry. So the reading and rereading of poems. is a great activity, especially if it's like a fun kids poem, such as Jack Perletsky. He does a lot of really great poems. And this particular activity really helps with prosody. Kids really work on expressive reading. And I don't think I mentioned this before, but when kids read with prosody, when they read with expression, they really are understanding what they are reading. I had a student, it was interesting, I had a student read for me a couple of days ago, and there was a word, I don't remember what the word was, but they emphasized that word. And interestingly, that word was not bolded and it was not italicized, but where they put the emphasis on it, it made sense. So they were actually understanding what they were reading, and they were showing that to me by reading with expression. So those are the 4 activities that I have. Let me give you a couple of helpful resources. The next 4 these 4 websites that I have, all of these websites have information about fluency. Reading Rockets, you're probably familiar with this website. This is a great website for teachers as well as parents. There's a lot of information on it, all aspects of reading. There's articles, there's activities, there's a lot of videos, there's some great fluency videos. It's just overall just a super great website. Also, if you do any research or do any Googling, academic Googling about reading fluency, you're going to see Dr. Rosinski's name up there. He is a researcher and a professor at Kent State University, and he's done a lot of research on fluency. He has a great website with a lot of resources. He's got some songs listed on there. I think he has a few poems as well. He's got articles about fluency. He's got some things that you can buy. He's made a lot of books of word ladders. But he's kind of like the guru. And Dr. Chase Young, you'll also find several articles written with Dr. Young and Dr. Rosinski together. Dr. Young is a professor at Sam Houston State University. He used to be a classroom teacher, and he also does a lot of research on fluency. He has a great website, thebestclass.org. He has a lot of Reader's Theater scripts on his website, and he also has some videos showing his kids doing Reader's Workshop in action. It's a lot of fun to watch. Also, the Florida Center for Reading Research is, again, a great website just overall for anything about reading. And as far as specific fluency activities, there's, like I'd mentioned, thebestclass.org. That's Dr. Young's website. There's a lot of scripts there. And there's a lot of Reader's Theater scripts on readingatoz.com as well. So the last thing I want to leave you with is the great thing about fluency practice is that it definitely helps improve comprehension. It definitely helps with overall reading achievement, and it's something that you can practice, and it really doesn't take a lot of time. But fluency practice benefits all ages, whether a child is in first grade, because a lot of times fluency practice is just kind of kept in those lower elementary grades, but it's great for obviously lower elementary grades, middle, even later elementary grades, even middle school. Kids that are in middle school can definitely benefit from fluency practice, as well as all reading levels. Obviously, kids that are struggling benefit from fluency practice, but also kids that are reading well benefit from practice and fluency as well. And ELL learners as well as non-ELL learners. There's a lot of research about that as well. There's quite a bit of research about ELL learners using Reader's Theater to help with fluency. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned something. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. My email address is there. And again, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.